Love, oh love, it's something we all crave, something we seek from others, and something we're often willing to bend, twist, or shrink ourselves to receive. But how often do we offer the same love to ourselves without conditions, without requirements, without the I'll love myself when, or I'll be enough if? For most of us, self love comes with terms. We love ourselves when we succeed, when we meet the standard, when we look the way we want, when we act in ways we can be proud of. And yet, when we fall short, when we stumble, when we're not at our best, love suddenly withdraws. We become our harshest critic, our own coldest judge. But true self love, the kind that heals, sustains, and transforms, is unconditional. It doesn't wait for perfection. It doesn't vanish when mistakes happen. It says, I love you here, now, as you are. My self love journey took a long route. As a perfectionist, for a very long time, I couldn't accept myself unless I was perfect. You can guess what that means, right? Obviously, no one is perfect, which means I never approved of myself. My worth was tied to how productive I was, how much I achieved, how many people approved of me. On the days I fell short, I couldn't even look at myself with kindness. I was always so harsh and so critical of myself. And I was never at peace, never feeling truly loved, even by myself. And then I learned about self love. But at first, I thought self love meant to spoil myself. Getting a massage, treating myself to a nice meal, enjoying a lovely bubble bath, etc., etc. I tried to treat myself nicely on the outside, but I never looked within. It wasn't until I started practicing unconditional regard for myself that something started softening. At first, I felt foreign, almost uncomfortable to say, even here, even in my flaws, even with my failures, I am worthy of love. But slowly, like water smoothing stone, that practice began to shift me. I realized that the love I had been chasing from others was something I had been withholding from myself all along. Think about the people you love most. Do you only love them when they're perfect? Or do you hold space for their humanity, their mistakes, their struggles? Real love doesn't disappear when someone messes up. It's steady, it stays. Why, then, should we not extend the same grace to ourselves? And speaking of which, by the way, if you are in a relationship with someone who runs away from you when you're showing the raw, messy, emotional side of you, you might want to think twice. Is this truly love? Or am I expected to perform in this relationship? But let's get back to loving yourself. When you love yourself without conditions, you stop making your worth negotiable. You stop measuring your value by checkboxes and outcomes. You begin to build an inner home where you're safe, accepted, and cherished exactly as you are. And from that place, growth naturally follows. Not because you're trying to earn love, but because you are rooted in it. Unconditional self love doesn't mean ignoring growth or excusing harmful behavior. It means creating a foundation of compassion that makes growth possible. When you love yourself through the mess, you create a courage to try again. When you hold yourself with tenderness in failure, you find the strength to rise stronger. I want you to imagine for a moment what it would feel like to wake up tomorrow and know that you don't need to do anything to earn your own love. You don't need to lose the weight, land a job, find a partner, or fix a flaw. You are already enough, already deserving, already worthy of kindness, gentleness, and love. You no longer need to seek love. The love you've been seeking is already here. It has always been here. How liberating is that? I know what you're going to say, though. It may feel like a stretch, right? But here's the truth: the conditions you place on self love are learned. Somewhere along the way, you absorbed the message that you had to earn your worth, prove your value, or reach a certain standard before you could feel good about yourself. But those conditions are not the truth of who you are. They're stories, and stories can be rewritten. Being loved is your birthright. So, what does it look like to practice unconditional self love? It begins in small, quiet ways. It might be choosing not to criticize your reflection in the mirror. It might be placing a hand on your heart in a difficult moment and saying, I'm here for you. It might be letting yourself rest without guilt or allowing yourself to celebrate even the smallest wins. It might simply be refusing to abandon yourself when life feels heavy. The shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens moment by moment. And with time, those moments weave together into a new way of being, one where your relationship with yourself becomes a sanctuary, not a battlefield. I want you to remember this. You are not loved for what you achieve. You are loved because you are. And the one person whose love you carry with you for your entire life is your own. Imagine the freedom that comes from making that love unconditional. So, as you move forward, I invite you to start noticing where you place conditions on your self love. Catch the void that says, I'll love myself when, and gently respond with, I love myself now. Or, if you're used to criticizing yourself in third person, you can also say, I love you, Rachel. It may feel tender, even awkward at first, but with practice, it becomes a truth you live from. And here's a simple daily practice I invite you to do. Toward the end of your day, or even right now, I invite you into a small but powerful practice. Find a quiet moment with your journal or simply sit in stillness. Take a breath, place your hand on your heart, and ask yourself, what would it feel like to love myself without conditions? Right now, in this moment. Write down whatever arises, even if it feels messy or contradictory. Then choose one unconditional statement of love for yourself. It could be as simple as, I am enough exactly as I am. I am worthy of love no matter what. I embrace myself in my becoming. Feel free to write your unconditional statement of love in the comment below to affirm it. Once you've chosen your statement, practice embodying it. Whisper it softly to yourself, like you would to someone you dearly love. Then act on it. Do one small thing today that reflects that love, whether it's resting, nourishing your body, speaking kindly to yourself, or setting a boundary that honors your worth. This is how unconditional love takes root, not in lofty ideals, but in lived, repeated choices. Each time you return to yourself with compassion, you're breaking the cocoon of conditional love and allowing your true, radiant self to spread her wings. Your worth is not on trial. Your love for yourself doesn't need to be earned. You are worthy of unconditional love today, exactly as you are. And when you begin to embody that truth, you'll find that your love shifts in ways that ripple far beyond yourself. Because a person who loves themselves without conditions becomes a beacon, reminding others that they too are worthy of the same.